Hi guys, Ready Set RC back again today, and today we have our final thoughts review of the Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer, the UDR known to most. We've taken this out on a few different runs. We've ran it on 6S, we ran it on 4S, we've taken this on loose surface, we've taken this out on grass, took it back out on loose surface, saw loose surface with grass. So we've had different driving conditions that we've taken this truck out on a few times, and we are here finally to give our review as to what we think about this truck. So in our typical fashion, we're going to be doing electronics, drivetrain, handling and suspension, durability, workability, support, the opinionated part of this discussion, which is it worth it and would I buy it again? So first, let's kick into electronics on this truck. So in regards to controller, typical TQI controller, it's tried and true, been around for quite some time. Very simple, very easy to work with the truck. Didn't really have any issues with the TQI controller. You guys know my gripes in regards to the Traxxas Link, but did not have any problems with the TQI controller and how it operates with this truck. As for the receiver on this truck, perfect guys. I mean, this thing did not cut out once. The signal was strong between the transmitter and the receiver. No issues whatsoever. In regards to the ESC and the motor on here, and I'm going to touch on this for a little bit right now. Motor and ESC provides enough power to this truck. I had no issues in regards to the power that I was getting on this on 4S and on 6S. I think that was fine. My concern with it is that the temperatures, especially when I started running this on grass would do it to any RC, guys, not just this truck. But I did see higher than normal temps for the ESC and the motor in regards to running it on that high grass. And if you watch my second run of this truck, you'll see what I was talking about in regards to the temps for the ESC and the motor in regards to riding this on grass. If you see that third run that I ran, you'll see that the temperatures on those runs, even though I did not show it on video, was fine. I did not have any issues in regards to temperatures on the ESC and motor on those runs. It was cool to the touch. I did not have any problems with it on those runs. For the most part, my biggest concern when I saw temperatures on here was on grass. And as you guys know, high grass is going to give you those higher temperatures on your electronics. As for the servo, I will definitely tell you guys, that was one of my issues when I first got this truck. My servo came DOA, dead on arrival. I had to wait for Traxxas to send me out a new servo in regards to this truck. So that was one of my concerns with this, is that when I ordered it, I got this from one of my local hobby shop, Willis Hobbies out here in Long Island, and I got the servo DOA, reached out to Traxxas, got the new servo in, and then swapped it in with this truck. Ever since then, I have had no problems with the servo on this truck. I will say for this setup, it was fast enough. I didn't need anything that had to be faster than what was in this truck. I thought the servo that comes with this vehicle was more than adequate for my driving style and how I drive this truck. And that is on 4S and on 6S. I felt that the servo was more than adequate for this truck in that setup and how I like to drive this truck. So drivetrain, in reference to the front, center, and rear differentials, mainly talking about that rear axle and also the drivetrain in the front. I didn't have any issues, no brakes on this, guys. I am going to go through a process of tearing this whole truck down, and once I tear it down, I will definitely be posting up some videos on Instagram. In regards to the center differential and the front differential, no issues whatsoever. No breakages in regards to the drive shafts. I did not have any issues in regards to grinding gears or anything like that in regards to the front, rear, and center differentials. Everything worked perfectly on this truck. Handling and suspension, and I will say this about this truck, just to dive into this for a little bit. The handling on here, and as you guys can see, I have this fully extended out. It's sitting on my stand, and right now you see the full extension of what you get in regards to the travel suspension on this truck. This truck is by far one of the most realistic driving vehicles you will see out there in regards to RC. And I don't mean scale trucks in regards to crawlers and trail trucks. I mean something that really goes fast. That this, by far, is one of the most scale vehicles you will find out there that goes this fast. This is amazing, guys. And with the travel on here, it's just amazing how this truck drives. It drives so well. My biggest gripe with this truck, though, and this is regarding more so the conditions you drive in, and that's why I keep on stressing I like this truck for the conditions that I drive this truck on. This truck has a high tendency to flip a lot of traction rolls, a lot of movements where the back end gets away from you, and then all of a sudden this truck is doing tumbles over tumbles. I will say this, when I drove this truck on loose surfaces, my first video and my last video is on 4S, my first video is on 6S, very little to any rollovers on this truck, very little. I was learning to drive on the first video, and by the third video I was well on my way on this truck. It's the conditions that you drive this truck in. Loose surfaces is where this truck is home. When I drove this truck on grass, even though it was somewhat moderate to high grass on there, rolled over a lot more than I like to chase a vehicle. And this was just doing it way too much in regards to those type of driving conditions. So I will definitely say the handling is more suited for that loose surface areas. It is perfect for those locations. You take it on a high grass or you take it to places where a little bit more traction, what you're going to find is this vehicle is just going to keep tumbling on you and traction rolling on you. And at that point, it's not going to be too much of a great driving experience when you're chasing the vehicle to go flip it over every time. Durability. Other than what you see with the body, guys, truck held up very well. I did not have any breakages on this truck. Yes, the body here has cracked and it is starting to show some real stresses on here. This part over here looks like a dent, which is great because I like that look on it. My trail arms on this truck, I will definitely say they are starting to bend to the point I'm going to have to address them within my next few runs. But they have not broken on me. They have held up very well. But I will say they are starting to stress and they are starting to bend a little bit. So durability that I've had on this truck has been fairly well. The tires have held up excellent on this truck. As I said, the body has held up fairly well on this truck. And as for any other parts of this vehicle, even though it is predominantly plastic, I've had no brakes whatsoever. Workability. The only thing that I've done on this truck is replacing the servo as at this point. The other thing is just swapping the normal. What everyone else does is swapping in the batteries in and out. In regards to swapping out the servo, I had no issues. You remove the body, the servo and everything is captured underneath. You remove the plate, the underplate that's on this truck. You have access to everything at that. In regards to the motor, the servo, the ESC is caught right here in the back. Everything is exposed once you remove that plate underneath, and you're able to swap out the servo from pulling it out from its mounting screws underneath, and then the cord is actually attached back to the receiver box up here in the front. So you do have to remove the body to actually, or the shell, to get to the receiver. So I found, for the limited amount of work that I've done on this truck, it's been pretty good. Once I start tearing this truck down and seeing how it all comes together afterwards, I'll be able to speak on that a little bit more. But as of right now, for the work that I've done to this truck, it's been very simple to work on it. No real issues. And you would think for a vehicle of this scale and what they have put into the technology of this truck, that it would have been a little bit more difficult, because I have definitely worked on vehicles where you're working on it and tearing down things a little bit more than this. It's not bad, guys. Not bad to work on so far. Support. It's a Traxxas, guys. And I hate to be one of those guys that says, it's Traxxas, parts are supported, but yes, it is Traxxas. I go to my local hobby shop, parts are there. Aftermarket support is starting to ramp up and starting to get there. I mean, there's some third-party aftermarket support in regards to the trail arms and some of the other parts on this truck, but it's slowly starting to get there for this truck. Parts directly from Traxxas, no issues. I mean, you'll get whatever you're looking for on this truck. I don't think that's going to be a real concern when we're talking about Traxxas and support. They have one of the best supports out there in regards to calling them up and requesting anything or looking for information on anything. And then in regards to parts, your local hobby shop, online, most of the people out there are going to carry parts for this truck, so that's not going to be an issue. Now let's get into the opinionated part of this video. And this is the part where it's based on what I think and my views. And the first part of this is it worth it? Is this truck worth, and if I can remember correctly, this truck is now going for $799. Is this truck worth the $799 that is currently being sold for? For all the technology that they put into this truck, the name branding that they put in this truck, the rigid, the BF Goodrich, all the stuff that they've put on here, the scale tires, the scale body, all the scale realism that they put on this truck. Is this truck worth it at this price point? And I have to say yes. You know, for everything that I have gone and endured on this truck, I would honestly say the $799 for this truck is more than a fair price for it. I just feel that what they put into this, I can't see them dropping this price. Not for a while. You know, would I like to see it? Yes. I like to see everything being dropped. But on this truck, I have to say, the $799 at the end of the day, do you feel that you are getting a value out of this truck? And I have to say yes. With everything, the scale realism of this truck, I think you are getting a value at $799. I think it is a fair market value for this vehicle. Eventually, I like to see Traxxas, when Traxxas meets their marketing point on this, I'd like to see them drop the price on it. But as of right now, I would buy this truck again at $799. Now, that's a perfect good segue to exactly the next point of this. Would I buy this truck again? And yes, I would. You know, this truck totally suits my driving style and what I look for in an RC and what I expect out of an RC. This is an excellent vehicle for me. I think I really do enjoy this truck. I mean, it's not just for the looks, but how it drives. I think, you know, where I like to evolve this channel at some point and really doing those cinematic shots, I think this truck is perfect for it. You know, you have some of those other channels out there that are building these kind of trophy trucks, meaning how they perform from scratch. And here you are, you can get a ready-to-run, fully scale looking trophy truck out there for $799. I think that is where you see where this truck is just a perfect deal for what it is. It honestly screams to the scale person in you when you're looking at a vehicle like this. And I have to say that this truck definitely reflects what a one-to-one trophy truck looks like out there. And I ask you guys to go out there, review the other RC channels that are building trophy trucks from scratch, not other trophy trucks that are out there that are ready to run, that are for sale, is what I would compare this to. Honestly, compare this truck to people who are building trophy trucks from scratch. That is what this is compared to, not other trophy trucks out there in the market. I would not compare this to anything else that's ready to run. I don't feel that that's a true and fair comparison for this truck. I think this truck is so much detail and so much engineering into it that I would compare this more to what you see on some of those other channels that are building trophy trucks from scratch. But that's it, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for our latest post to our channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again, guys.